Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reality Bang. And thank you for joining us today. I am Johan, your host for today, and I want to thank each and every viewers who have been part of Reality Bang all over the years. And if you ever want to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with us at 6364252164. And if you want to get in touch with us in email, you can do that as well at info@febaonline.org. So today we'll be talking about a very important day, a day everyone should remember. It is a day to reflect on the dreams, the struggles, the immense potential that millions of girls have in our country, and the struggles that they're facing, and it's the and the barriers that they're facing simply because that they were born as daughters. Today we'll be talking about National Girl Child Day, a day where we are going to discuss about the struggles faced by women, the rights that they deserve, and we'll be talking about the education, about the health, and about every single problems that they've been facing in the country, and as a country, that how in future we can make it better and a safer country for women. And on this special day to discuss, we have Dr. Joby Joseph. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you. Doing good. Doing great, man. Doing great.
Thank you. So before we start to discuss, I would like to give a quick introduction about Dr. Joby. So he has over 19 years of field experience in human trafficking and bonded labor across more than 15 states. He has supported the government of India in over 280 rescue operations and played a pivotal role in initiatives like Operation Smile and Operation Muskan in Telangana, rescuing 7,652 child bonded laborers. An accomplished trainer, he has trained officials from various state departments, civil society organizations, and law enforcement in addressing trafficking and labor issues. Beyond his human rights work, he holds a third Dan black belt in karate, is an internationally licensed coach, a member of All India Karate Federation and the Olympic Council of India, and a professional canine trainer. He is a member of World Wildlife Fund (WWF) and regularly trains at the VV Giri National Institute, Ministry of Labour, Uttar Pradesh. It is a pleasure to have you, sir, here today.
Thank you.
So, my first question to you is, as the National Girl Child Day holds awareness about the challenges that's faced by them, and it's also about celebrating about the women in our country who have accomplished. So, would you like to tell the audience, about what is the significance behind this day?
Okay, first of all, why this date, January 24th, as National Women's Day? How they chose this date? Okay. Next, we'll come to which is the department that is involved in it.
Okay.
First of all, Ministry of Women and Child is a department that takes care of this particular day, about awareness camps, about policies for young women, girl children, and everything. And why this date? So, if you remember our late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, she took her position as the Prime Minister of India on January 24th, 1966. So they chose this date as as Girl Child's Day, and it's to create an impact on all the girl children in India to make India a stronger country. Okay, and there are lots of issues and there are lots of solutions. We will discuss as you ask more questions.
Is about abuse. So whether physical, emotional, or systematic, it leaves a scar on women throughout their entire lives. So can you shed light on the abuse and the long-term impact it has on their life and future?
Okay, abuse. There are different kinds of abuse. There is verbal abuse, there is sexual abuse, there is psychological abuse. There are different abuses that you see, and especially when a girl child is brought up, and if the child is facing so many abuses, it completely affects on their behavioral change. It affects their trust to build anybody or to believe in anybody, and it affects them in building any relationships in future. For example, it can be a husband and wife relationship, or a manager, a staff relationship. It brings down the self-esteem of the girl, and it stays for a longer time for a girl child, and that is not good for the house and for the country. and there are places where lots of solutions.
So, so despite progress in many areas, many girls still face like barriers to education. So, how do these obstacles, affect their future opportunities and the communities that they live in?
Okay, so things that affects the girl child, what I say is, see, first of all, you have to categorize into the personal life. When it comes to a personal life, there are different topics that are there. First is child marriage. Girls get forcibly married at a very young age, and this disturbs them. And once they get married, they have their own children to take care. They'll have their own household chores that they have to do, and they'll not be allowed to step out of the house. They'll not be able to complete their education. Next comes the teenage pregnancy. Okay, and so many places children are not aware that they're pregnant. Okay, and this also affects the children to continue their education or to uh, learn more in future. Okay, next comes the domestic work. This challenge, I've also given an example where lots of young small children at the age of 11, 12 and 13 are taken by illegal placement agencies. Okay, and as bonded laborers, child bonded laborers, and made to work in different places in big houses and restaurants and all. And government of India has done an amazing job. I can give you an example from Jharkhand where a girl went as a child bonded laborer to Delhi, and she worked for a year in a placement agency. And she went and asked, brother, I worked for a year, please give me my 1 year salary, I want to go back home. The agency guy said, you have to work for another year and take 2 years salary and you can go back. So the kid went again, worked for another year, and the kid came back and asked for money. Said, Bhaiya, I've worked for 2 years, give me my salary. So the placement agency guys cut the girls into pieces and put her in the kennel. Okay, and this case came to crime against women and child at Delhi, and there was a team formed by the government of India, and how many of our children were brought through that agency, government of India rescued all the children there, gave them rehabilitation, and put the guys behind the bar. Poor education and access to the education. For example, in so many places, there might be schools, but the school will be very far. They'll not have proper transportation. They'll not have proper support to go do their education. Sometimes the schools in their villages will be only till 6th standard. They might not be able to continue their higher education or higher secondary. Okay, and poor health conditions. Healthcare is a very important area where we'll have to talk more on girl health, especially when they are in their menstruation period. Girl children are in some places there due to awareness camps. There are lots of awareness that's happening, but still, in some places they don't have proper awareness to keep themselves safe, to keep themselves clean. So this awareness camps on health also has to happen. Next is sexual abuse. You see this happen at a higher rate, though there are different safety and security measures. Sexual abuse brings their own self-esteem down, and they feel it is their own mistake. It's not like that. It is not their mistake. So awareness camps has to be regularized. If you say only for Girl Children's Day, you do a program and you create awareness, that's not enough. You'll have to form a committee. You'll have to make it happen again and again, and form members and form support team. This will only bring it down. And exploitation at different level also happens. Okay, exploitation at work happens, exploitation at school happens, exploitation at home happens. So all these challenges brings the girl children's support in continuing their education. And violence. Violence plays a major role, where we have seen lots of children if you not go to the school, and they don't accept when a girl study. But government of India has an amazing plan called as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Okay, so it's an amazing scheme which is invested so much money in protecting the girls, in so much money in building the girls' education system and making safe communities.
So, as we discussed both these questions, one of the central theme that I've that is just like gender discrimination, right, for them.
Yeah.
So from not getting the enough pay for a job to
Yeah.
limited with the decision making also in society.
Yeah.
Every single thing there's discrimination for
Yes.
women, right? So can you like talk about how it affects their personal and professionally for them?
Okay. Personal life, already told you all
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you go into professional things, see there are different line items that comes up. Okay, one is lower pay. So women don't get paid as much as men get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, and that you can see. Next you see is like limited promotions. How we have seen where women have done the entire background work. They would have gone to the field, they would have done their reports, they would have done so much of work, but all the credit goes to the guy. It doesn't go to the girl. Okay, and promotion is not given to the correct person. Okay, longer time to advance in any field. Okay, it takes a longer time for a girl to advance in any field. Slowly it is changing now. I'm seeing that. Okay. Limited decision making is also given. Okay, when an important decision is taken, let it be in a family thing, or let it be in an official work, or in any political thing, if the women are not involved, I think the decision is not that much valued. Okay, because you cannot come to a clear conclusion, because you'll have to get the opinion of the entire people who are there. Okay, and mental health implications is something that affect them a lot. Okay, the amount of stress they undergo, especially discrimination, sexual harassment, and that is also leading into so much of trauma and decline in their productivity at work. Okay, whenever they are into any stress, any sexual abuse or any verbal abuse that has happened, they will not have the full energy and the happiness to do the work completely. Okay, and that will lessen the productivity. They will not be able to complete the work. They will not be able to give their full productivity to complete the work. Okay, and so much of decision making and research has to happen on this. Only when research happens, you'll be able to understand where the lack is happening. And there are so many research papers that are coming out on girl children rights, and there are lots of committees that are working on it, and there are lots of schemes that are coming out of it. So I feel research is very, very important.
So, so as we come to the end of episode, is there any final words you would like to tell to the audience?
So, see, women, children are very important for the country. Okay, and I have worked intensively across the country with lots of government officials, and there are amazing work that women leaders have done. I can quote examples of Swati Lakra IPS and Chicago IPS, and these are all officers from the state of Telangana. Okay. And do you use Google Pay? Phone Pay?
Yeah.
How do you use it?
Through scanner.
Similarly, they have developed a thing called as QR system complaint code. Okay. And this QR code is stuck in railway stations, harbors, taxis, bus stations, airports. So you just have to scan it, and automatically you can complain. It can be physical abuse, kidnapping, theft, child labor, bonded labor, human trafficking, anything. You can just put a click. Response time is 10 to 11 minutes. Inspector, public prosecutor, shelter home person comes at particular place. This is tested and verified in Telangana, and this has been taken as a best practice to different parts of the country. So this was developed by an officer, a lady officer. And there's another officer called as Divya IAS, who's an immense, amazing work for the community. And one community people have named their own villages as Divya Guda. You can go research on that person.
Very nice.
So There's another officer called as Anuradha Shankaran IPS. She is the ADGP for training in Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
So she has invested so much Madhya Pradesh women to come into the police department, and she's brought in so many officers and developed so many officers. So all these women leaders can be taken as big example
Yeah.
for girl children to look forward, to get any support, to learn, to make safe communities, to make India strong. These are different leaders that are there. We can. I thank your organization, FEBA India, for creating this opportunity
Yeah.
to connect to different people. I feel so many people might be looking at this program now, and they will get a spark out of it.
Yeah.
They will think, okay, let's talk to this particular collector. Let's go for an awareness camp. Let's bring in women and child department. Let's bring in judiciary. Let's do an awareness camp. I can give you one more example from Telangana. There is something called as Cyber, CYBHER campaign. Okay, you can go Google it. What they did is the Crime Against Women and Child Police Department, including other departments, they trained all school, college going students across the state. Okay, on Constitution of India, good touch, bad touch, child marriage, child crimes. They trained them, okay, and gave them awareness, and created cyber ambassadors in each school and college. Okay, and there's a master or a teacher connected to that. If they see any families that are gone to work and they've never come back, or a student that is not coming back, or any crime that is happening, they can report it. Okay, and it automatically gets reported, but the child's name doesn't come out. It's kept saved. Okay. The entire process took 3 years to complete the entire state.
Oh wow.
Okay, so there is so much of investment that has happened, but it is possible, and they have done it as a state of Telangana, and it's a wonderful job. And we should think, how can we bring in these best practices across the country to create safe communities and to make India more strong?
A side question that I'd like to ask you is about self-defense. So what would you like to, could you tell something about that?
Okay, self-defense, everybody has a mixed feeling about martial arts, karate, different things. Okay, karate is an art, and you can learn it, and you can go in one grade after the other. Okay, self-defense is a collective, different situational moments, different techniques, and how can you fight out and come out of a particular situation. So I do train officers. I've trained officers across the country, police officers, college students, how to handle violent criminals, different things we've taught them. So one of the topic that we see, when you're going to train somebody on self-defense, we don't teach them the techniques to survive alone. We also teach them something called as situational awareness. Okay. Situational awareness is very important for any girl child. Through this, I would like to teach a simple thing. Create an imagine wherever you're walking. When you're going to walk, any person who's going to intersect the circle and come towards you, you should think in your mind, is he coming and talking to me? Is he a person who's known to me? Am I going to be affected? Is he going to approach me for any offense or violence? You decide and you move out. Okay. And this way, any attack that comes within 5 meters, you can avoid. Okay. We also tell them, the girl children especially, to walk around and find out how many ATMs are there in your area, how many police chowkis are there, checkposts are there, how many police stations are there, how many hospitals are there. I don't give them mobile phones. We ask them to walk and find out. And once they come back, I ask the girl children to draw and tell me where it is, so that they know the directions. Even if they don't have a phone, they will know 5 different ways to go to a hospital, 5 different ways to go to a police station, 5 different ways to come to their house. If they face any challenge, we also teach them something called as mirroring. Mirroring means, when you're walking, if you feel somebody is looking at you, for example, if you're following me, I'll suddenly turn and look at you. What will you do? You will never expect that he's going to look at me, okay? And you're going to stop. And then I'll know, okay, this guy is following me, and I'll walk away from you. I'll not talk to you. I'll suddenly move out, go into a tea shop or a library or wherever, safe place. I'll take my phone and call your dad or your friend or your husband, brother, whomever you want to call. and you ask them to come and pick you.
Mm.
Okay, or you call the police officers. One more thing I want to quote here is Government of India has another amazing tool
Mm.
called as 112 India. Okay, 112 India. It's an app that Government of India has developed, and in this app you have police, fire, medical, disaster, women, child, railway, and other things in it. Okay, this also has the QR code kind of similar thing. Response is very fast. Okay, you can go through Google. You can download it, and it's a very good app. And this has been implemented across the country. So martial arts, that's what. Self-defense. We teach them self-defense technique, how to be safe, how to be more alert, and how to know your own area better, even without mobile phones. Because nowadays everybody, even including me, you are just looking at your mobile and you're meddling, and you have zero reason. Whenever they are out, they should be very careful, and it's a huge topic, and it cannot be covered in a small program. So we train them in it's a 3 months course, where you train them on situational awareness, self-defense. We give them live demos. We train them with different kinds of attacks, like single attack, double person attack, 4 people attack, narrow road, elevators, different situations we create and we teach them. So they're trained. Okay, when an abuse happens or an assault happens, the girls didn't freeze. Okay, when they freeze, the abuse, the sexual abuse or physical abuse or violence happens, and they don't know what to do after that. Okay, we teach them not to freeze.
Okay.
We teach them to be alert at all times, and how to avoid situations, and how to fight back. And we also teach them who are the right government officials to contact. Where is your nearest police station? That's why we tell. Where is the nearest police station? Where is the ATM that you need to take money? Where is the hospital that you need to see? Who's there in your speed dialing code immediately to contact for any support? You train them. So self-defense does not involve only physical fighting techniques. It involves situational awareness also.
So just a side question.
Yes,
so
please.
Since you mentioned like human rights and law, right?
Yeah.
So what are the some of the human rights and law that women can be can know about, so that it can help them?
Yes, definitely. See, I would request lots of youngsters. You see Instagram and YouTube shorts, right? So I would request all the youngsters and students to go see shorts on what is Bonded Labor Abolition Act. Okay, what is anti-human trafficking law? Okay, what is Juvenile Justice Act? These are laws that a kid should know. Okay, and the Constitution of India, that's something important, because our entire law system is built on the Constitution of India. So whenever you're traveling or whenever you're listening to music, look into all these shorts and upgrade your knowledge. Okay, in shorts there is a snippets of all the law. Okay, and once you look at the snippets, you will be interested to know more, because every law has a clause, subclause, step 1, step 2, different government departments involved in it. What is the punishment? How many years is the punishment? What is the compensation? Different things are there. First homework would be to all the youngsters would be look at shorts on laws of India. Bonded Labor Abolition Act, Child Labor Act, Anti-Human Trafficking Act, all these laws you should definitely refresh.
It is very difficult to understand the pain of what a woman has to go through every day, and we pray that things get better in future for them. And we know that your words is very will be very educating and impactful for every single person who have watched it. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let us remember that every girl holds the power to inspire, create, and transform the world around her. Each of us have a role to play, no matter how big or small, in building a society where every girl feels safe, valued, and free to dream. Let's commit to being the change that they deserve. If you ever want to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with us at 6364252164. So see you next week.